Good morning, Florida lacrosse fans. March 31st, the end of another month. A week and a half left in the regular season. Morning coffee of Florida lacrosse news. This is Lee Roggenberg. And last night we had some interesting results. Let's get to the games right now. And some of the closer matchups, Oxbridge with the 7-2 win over American Heritage Del Rey. Calvary Christian of Fort Lauderdale, 10-5 over Cardinal Gibbons. Windermere Prep with the 9-8 win over Celebration. We had Community School of Naples, 14-7 over Venice. Jensen Beach with the 10-9 win over Dwyer. Pinecrest, 12-5 win on the road against Vero Beach. Newsom with the 18-10 win over Steinbrenner in one of the games we highlighted to watch for yesterday. Lincoln with the 6-1 win over Leon up in the Tallahassee area. Robinson got by Sickles, 14-13. Lakeland with the 10-7 win over Cypress Creek. Lake Howell, the 10-6 home win over Seminole. And Vieira with the 12-5 win over Martin County. Easy winners last night, Palm Beach Central, Bartow, Calvary Christian in the Tampa area, Hines School, Bowles, Niceville, St. Brendan, American Heritage Plantation. Ran over and checked them out after the Stoneman Western game was postponed. East Lake, Lake Mary, handling Haggerty. Again, another game that we highlighted yesterday about Haggerty not being ranked because of schedule. And they didn't do anything last night to change my mind. Oviedo, Sarasota, Montfair, Bonavidra, St. Edwards, Northside Christian, Gulf Coast handling Immokalee easily. Another game we highlighted yesterday. Winter Park, Riverview, and St. Andrews with the easy win over Kings Academy. And that in all likelihood will clinch the number one seed in the district for them, unless they and St. John Paul have a way of rescheduling their postponed game. Tonight, West Broward is going to be hosting Columbus. We have a terrific matchup up in the Gainesville area. Oak Hall puts their undefeated record on the line against 10-3 Maclay. Excuse me again. Holy Trinity Episcopal will host Melbourne Central. Another big-time game in the Tampa area. 9-1 Jesuit is hosting 13-1 Plant. St. John Paul is hosting Boca Raton. Probably go out to that game. Dr. Phillips is hosting Windermere. And Pensacola Catholic is hosting West Florida up in the Panhandle. In top 15 games on the girls' side last night, the game that we highlighted to see for potential ranking, Calvary Christian with the 8-6 win over previously undefeated Palm Beach Central. That cost Palm Beach Central a chance to be ranked. American Heritage Del Rey, easy win over Stoneman. Vero Beach with a comfortable win over Haggerty. And another team that I'm looking at, Boca Raton, with the 11-8 win over the 11-8 win over Dwyer, who Boca remains undefeated. Tonight, you have American Heritage Del Rey traveling to Oxbridge. Gulf Breeze is in action. Some of the schools that I've been looking at, Lake Brantley is already ranked. Yeah, they're in action tonight. Schools like Edgewood, Tampa Catholic, and Lakeland that I've been paying attention to a little bit, all undefeated, I believe, are also in action tonight. Stanton, Ransom, and Naples had easy wins last night, too. Excuse me. Okay, girls top 15. Rankings for the week. No change at the top 4. Lake Island Prep continuing to win comfortably at the number 1 spot. American Heritage Del Rey into St. Thomas Aquinas. They played one game in the last 8 days or so, and they're still at 3. Vero Beach hanging in at 4. The battle for the sixes was won on Saturday, and Honavedra takes number 5. Bartram Trail takes number 6. The reason for this is the Steinbrenner losses knocked them down quite a bit. Gulf Breeze at 7, Pinecrest at 8, Community School Naples at 9, Lake Brantley at 10. Newsom's moved up a little to number 11. Berkeley Prep at 12. I've got Steinbrenner and Haggerty. I'm going to keep them both at 13. Haggerty with the 5-4 win. Steinbrenner has had such a good season. I'm going to just kind of let that play out a little bit over time. And Stoneman Douglas centers the poll again back at 15. Some of the 5 schools that I'm considering going to do a little deeper dive on: Boca Raton, Tampa Catholic, St. Stephen's Episcopal, Trinity Prep, and Academy of the Holy Name, which is, to be honest, until I started looking at the girls' side, I did not know them. There is no boys program as far as I can tell. But again, it's nice to see a new name get into the mix, and we'll take a good look at that too. Couple of filler items this week. I got an email with the press release. The 2021 Delray Men's Summer League. I think a lot of people would be surprised to learn that there is a relatively extensive adult lacrosse community out there that still gets together and plays games in areas around the state. Obviously, I'm down here. I know that Delray has been holding one over the years. I really should be slapping myself for never getting over there and having some fun and watching some of them. They're scheduled for 10 weeks from June to August. 6 teams in the league, 10 by 10 on the field, full field of referees. Gives a chance for those who have finished their careers and want to just have some fun, stay in shape. I'm sure the games are very competitive. But if you find out that you've got one of these leagues in the area and it's a summer night and it's a little cool out, and you don't feel like turning on the TV to watch the 27th rerun of the 37th CSI version, go out and just have a little fun. Bring a little snack, maybe bring an early dinner over, hang out, watch some of the games, get to know some of the guys over there. Might be a chance where your high school's coach, you could have a chance just to talk to in an informal manner instead of worrying about why your kid didn't have enough playing time. So have a little bit of fun, and get out and check out some of these leagues. And if you're, a player later on in your years and you have a little yearning, check out to see if your area has one of these. And tied into that is an event that every year I make sure to attend when it's played. Unfortunately, COVID canceled it the last 2. The Florida Lacrosse Classic. It's held every year down in Weston, which is a little west of downtown Fort Lauderdale. This is an event that is really considered the national championship for the Masters levels. I believe 35 and over is the youngest age bracket, then every 5 years, 40, 45, etc. I believe they went with 65 and over the last time, and it's probably getting to a point where they might have to start discussing 70 and over. When you think about someone in their 60s playing this sport still, that's love. that's love. That's comradeship. Just having fun with each other. One of the reasons I love this event is that a lot of my Hobart classmates, and I'm class of 1980, which is 42 years ago already, they're still playing in this event. My Hobart graduating class is probably 200 in that range. And in 2019, last time we played, 2019, last time we played, 7 of that 200 were still playing this event. And it's always a great time for me to be able to catch up with people that I haven't seen in a long time. So, again, if you're in our area, that's another fun thing to come out and see. One of the fun things about that event, is that a lot of times I'll see some of the high school kids who are working the scoreboard, helping volunteer, and I'll get a chance to say, "Do you know who's on the field playing in front of you? That one's in the National Hall of Fame. That one still holds the NCAA record for saves in a championship game. This one is a three-time first-team All-American. This one's the second leading goal scorer of all time." And they're all in the same game. So it's one of those fun events, and it's fun to sort of get the younger kids to understand what their forefathers did in the sport too. Last thing I want to talk about, I always do this a couple of times a year, and I don't want to sort of make it a call out type thing. But obviously, every time I attend a game, the one thing that always pops out is how often parents and fans from the stands are yelling at referee calls. And just, I think, lost in all of the difficulties with COVID is that referees had to avoid it too. That's a very difficult task for the kids and for the parents. But we don't have a very deep pool of referees in the state. You lose 5% of them in a week for COVID, and you might end up with some postponed games solely because of that reason. I think the referees have done a fabulous job of staying healthy and being able to get out there and provide this service. Parents, one thing I ask is let your coaches work the refs themselves. Okay, they're on the field. They're going to be doing it anyhow. Refs know it's a little bit part of the sport anyhow. Just leave it on the field. Let them handle it. One thing I always urge parents to understand, when you're in the stands, you've got the benefit of looking down. You will always see something that a ref will miss, only because you can see, you never have a player run in your line of sight. It almost never happens from the stands. You never see a stick waving in your face. That never happens in the stands. You're not running up and down a football-sized field over and over and over again at speed because you have to get into position to make these calls. This is an extraordinarily difficult sport to referee. This is, in many instances, is two refs. I've seen a couple of games where there was only one. I don't know how anyone can yell at one ref doing this, and two is tough enough. There's three for a reason. Football has, 8 or 9? Basketball has 3, and they're on a much smaller surface, so they don't have to run as much. Hockey has 4. It's a good thing to just understand. And also, one other thing that I think there's a lot of misinterpretation of rules from the booth. Over the Christmas time, well, more Thanksgiving, when we did an interview with Paul Ciccio, head ref in our area at Jingle Brawl. And so that had a lot of views. I'm going to try to get Paul again, but this time I want him to explain interpretations directly to the parents. I hear an awful lot of ward calls from the stands that really aren't wards. And there's a very simple interpretation about where the defender's stick is and what you're allowed to do to get it free from you. And parents all assume it's a ward, and a lot of times it's not according to the rules. Over and back, simple interpretation. Until the ball's been touched up into the offensive box, it doesn't matter if you go back and forth. That's not over and back. So, we'll try to get Paul on, give a little bit more of an interpretation. But parents, please, trust me, your blood pressure will go down if you, stop worrying about every call that a referee is going to miss. They're not trained, or they're trained to try to call everything. They're not going to see it all the time. And one of the things that Paul mentioned in his interview is that you try to make sure the referee is not the reason for the game being decided. So, if penalties are 9-1, believe me, for the most part, it was earned because they don't want a 9-1 type penalty disparity in a game. So take it easy on them. It'll make your lives a lot easier in the stands. Root for the team, not against the calls, and you'll find yourself enjoying the game a lot more. This is Lee Roggenberg, Florida Lacrosse News, saying have a great day.